So I wanted to share a story with you guys. Me and my sister have gone to Florida twice. We've gone to Florida when we were in college, and then we went 10 years later to a trivia event. Both times we've gone to Florida, we didn't have a plan. We didn't really have a place to stay. We didn't know what we were going to do when we got there. We just decided we were going. The first time we were going to the Orange Bowl, and I just found out that I luckily was old enough to get a rental car from one of the rental car places. Rented a car, drove all the way to Florida. We stopped randomly at some like shady KFC where this guy told me he really liked my shoes, and we stole their Wi-Fi to book a random hotel in some random city, or it was Savannah, Georgia is where we were, but it was totally random where we had stopped. I just had gotten tired and decided we needed to find a hotel. We ended up at this awesome hotel, like amazing hotel, and super cheap because we got it off of one of those like backdoor websites. So that was awesome. We got to Florida. We went to the Orange Bowl. We found a random hotel to stay in, super cheap. We lost our car after the Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech unfortunately lost, and Amanda like tried to get into a fight with somebody in the stands, but luckily talked her down, so we didn't end up getting in a fight, but we did lose our car. And we walked around for like hours because I couldn't remember where I parked our rental car. Eventually we did find the rental car and made it back to the hotel, and then we did drive all the way back home after we randomly stopped at another hotel. And it just worked out. We had no plan. We just knew where our destination was. We were going to the Orange Bowl. It didn't matter where we were staying, what we were going to do in the meantime. We just knew we wanted to go to the Orange Bowl. So we did it. The other time we went to Florida, one of our leaders with the company had invited us to a boot camp for me to share my story with some other associates. And we randomly bought 2 plane tickets because they were super cheap out of Roanoke, and we flew to Florida. And when we got to Florida, it was the tiniest little airport. It was called St. Petersburg. And there was one rental car left, thankfully. So we got this rental car, and I had just wanted like the small little rental car. They ended up giving this like giant van, which was good because we found out that the hotel that our meeting was going to be at was actually booked up. So there was no room for us when we got to Florida. So it was like, oh, well, at least we can sleep in the van. We ended up not sleeping in the van. We got a hotel room really close to the hotel that the meeting was in for the first day. And then when our leader found out that we didn't actually have a room to stay in, she invited us to stay at her home. And it was beautiful and gorgeous, and we got to see this amazing like Indian burial ground and like where they had lived, and there was like a lot of like information on the tribe that had lived there, and you could walk around and look at it, and it was a beautiful view of the Gulf Coast, and it was just amazing time, amazing experience. We had so much fun. We ended up not staying at our house the last night we were there because we wanted to be a little bit closer to the airport so we didn't miss our flight because it was pretty early in the morning. We found this really random shady hotel, but we only had a couple hours of sleep, so it was fine. We go into the airport and we realized we looked at the departure time, not like when the gate closed time on our ticket. So we had to like basically sprint to our plane. Luckily we made it with like 5 minutes to spare so we could still go pee. So that was awesome too. And everything worked out. If you have never done an impromptu adventure and just set yourself up with a goal in mind without having a real actual plan to get there, when you think of the plan, I encourage you to try it sometime. When you are just have to be like gritty and figure things out on your own, it's exciting and just builds resilience and self-confidence. If you haven't taken the time in your life to just be ambitious and set a goal for yourself that you don't know how you're going to achieve, I highly, highly recommend it. It's amazing. It's amazing experiences, amazing lessons can come out of these things. Sometimes things don't turn out the way you think they would or would have liked them to, or they probably could have turned out a little bit better if you had done some more planning. But the experience of just figuring it out as you go and getting things done to reach your goal is a feeling like no other. So I'd love to hear from you. What kind of adventures have you had where you didn't really have a plan, but you knew where you were going? You didn't know how you were going to get